The video that started it all. And
the title.
Where is this video at?
So that is actually like my home gym. That's the gym that I
Which home?
home.
What's up, guys? Today's guest is a professional tumbler and a sponsored athlete of Gravitated Equations. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Dom Lewis. What's up, Dom?
What is up? What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Man, shout out to you, dude. You're probably one of the only guys that travels more than me.
And that's hard to believe.
Yeah,
because
it's
you travel
crazy.
all the time.
How many times do you think you fly a month?
A month? I'm on a plane at least once a week, so
Wow.
It's a good probably like 5-6 times a month.
So I got a question. Are you an X-ray guy, or do you slow the line down or get patted down?
Oh no, I am TSA pre-check and global entry.
Of course,
strictly,
there we go.
I go through.
That's a seasoned traveler, y'all.
I know the drill.
Yo, let me guess, you got a Amex Platinum for the lounge life?
Yes.
Holla at your boy.
Of course. No, yeah, I do. It helps, man.
Yo,
It
for
helps.
all of y'all out there, if you're young and up and cunning, get one of these Amex Platinum cards, guys.
Agreed. I mean, mine's not in my
It's
pocket,
really
but
dope, and we're not doing it to flex, but the perks of it are insane. You get into any Delta lounge around the country, and you get into any lounge that's on this app called Priority Pass.
Yep.
You can literally like land in any airport around the world, type in where you're at, what airport, and they'll tell you which terminal.
Yep, exactly. Like across from this
Yes.
gate, and then you just go in and you can just swipe the card and they let you.
Yeah,
in.
it'll tell you like if there's showers, if there's food, if there's
Yeah.
a restaurant inside.
Some of
It's
them have sleep
dope.
pods, and yeah, it's like
Dude,
it's
just
crazy.
just that alone makes traveling worth it when you
Absolutely.
have layovers and stuff. Yeah, so
the long ones.
you heard it here first, y'all. Get the Amex Platinum card. We should try to get an Amex sponsorship.
Sponsor.
Man, so it's really cool. What are you doing on this part of town? What are you doing over here in LA right now?
Right now, I'm just here visiting because I live here part time, and I say part time because I'm here maybe a week every month or two.
Totally, yeah.
And it sucks. I'd love to spend more time here, and I do plan on spending more time here soon. But right now, it's more so just coming to hang out, film,
Cool.
have fun.
Where's your home base? Do you consider it here in LA, or are you still going East Coast back and forth?
It's all over, but I count it as where my bed is, and my bed right now has been in Wichita, Kansas, with my friend Tanner.
Oh, what?
So, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I haven't slept in my own bed in 3 months, but like that's home base, and then of course the ultimate home base is wherever my mom is. So back home in Michigan,
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you still go back to New Orleans at all?
all
or-
the time. Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
wow.
another home. So I have like the 4 home bases: L.A., New Orleans, Wichita, and Detroit area up in Port Huron. But like I spend the most time probably in New Orleans.
That's so funny because before we started this interview, I was telling him about how I'm looking into a property in Atlanta and Vegas.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why there? Why there?" And this fool lives in
Wichita, Kansas.
places.
Like, why Wichita?
Yeah.
True.
That's hilarious, man. So you're just here for the week right now. You're out here getting some new footage and working with the Grav guys.
Yep, having
Awesome.
some fun. I
Are you,
leave tomorrow.
where do you leave to this weekend? You said you're heading to somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm going to like Tahoe City area, Woodward, Tahoe, doing my own like private little meetup, Domitrix spring meetup there. And
Nice. At Camp Woodward, or where at?
Yep, Woodward. Yeah, Woodward, Tahoe.
Woodward, Tahoe.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And so what is this going to consist of? Is this like a private training with you, or how big of an event is this?
Something like that. So it's like a meetup where all these kids, because I do a lot of different meetups around the country. So kids are just going to come that like live in that area. They're going to come hang out with me all day. I'll of course be helping them out, like learning stuff if they ask. I might do a little like Dom Bomb seminar or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's mainly just they get to come there, hang out with me, and just have fun. So I'll like set up obstacle courses or challenges for them, and then they have access to ride like the BMX bikes and scootering and all that
cool.
stuff. But we're mainly going to be focusing on like tricking, tumbling, parkour, free running stuff.
Nice, man. And what's your relationship with Woodward? Like, I see a lot of videos of you over there. How many times a year do you go, and how did that start?
I just started going there last year, actually, for the first time ever, because I've always been like at a place called Flip Fest in the summer, and then last
that's
summer,
right. Okay.
last summer I'm like, you know what, I just want more freedom to travel, so I ended up going to, I know,
Travel more.
and now it's like, oh boy, too much. So Woodward reached out to me, and so I decided, this sounds really cool. So I went to Woodward Tahoe first, absolutely loved it. I was there as a cheerleading pro guest.
Okay.
I'm not a cheerleader. And then, so I had a ton of fun there and like built a good relationship with them. And then I went to Woodward West. I still haven't been to like the big one, Woodward, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like Riviera Maya. I would love to go there. They have one in Mexico now.
I heard there's one in
Dope.
China being built. It's massive, I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard
probably-
that was right. And I heard it's going to be the biggest one of all of them because of the amount of people.
China always, they got it.
It's a
They gotta
competition
do
out
it.
there. Yeah.
So I mean, I just built a good relationship with them, and then they wanted to start doing like a partnership in a way with me. So I did my first meetup there in December, where it was like a crazy, it was January, beginning of January, crazy snowstorm blizzard where like we were trapped on top of the mountain and like no one could leave.
Way.
And it was supposed to just be like that day, and then everyone goes home and stuff, and like people still came, even though knowing that this
get snowed
crazy
in,
Arctic
basically.
storm was coming.
Wow.
And yeah, so I mean, I ended up being stuck up there for a couple days, and then
Wow.
they were like, "Well, we want to do this again." So I'm doing one now, and then I'm going to be there 2 more weeks in the summer, and then I'll be going back to Woodward West, I'm sure, maybe Pennsylvania, hopefully Riviera Maya.
Dang, that's cool, man. Super, super cool. Well, I gotta bring it up because everyone will kill me if I don't.
Oh boy.
So the video that started this all,
Yes.
the video that probably started all these relationships with Woodward, that started all of these meetups and gatherings with all the kids, was this video right here.
Yes.
The video that started
Oh,
it
boy.
all. And
That
where is
was
this
the title.
Where is this video at?
So that is actually like my home gym. That's the gym that I
Which home?
home my actual so where I grew up, like Port Huron, Michigan.
Okay.
So it's called All American Flames Gymnastics, and I started going there when I was 16. That was my first time ever stepping foot in a gym.
No way.
And I went there for an open gym, and I'm like, this place is awesome. And I had always trained on concrete and grass, and then I'm like, holy shit, I can fly. And so
On the springs.
yeah, I'm like, wow, I can actually like, this is crazy. So I started going there and just training, and then so that's where this is the place that started my whole career.
And so who shot this video? Like, did you have plans of putting this out online, or like, what did you do? You just shot it and you're like, I'm just going to post it on Facebook? Is that where it went first?
It was on Facebook, first,
right?
and that's where it went viral, actually. It didn't
Yeah.
even really do too hot on Instagram at first, but
Wow.
I don't even remember who filmed it. I think it was my friend Michael.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was my friend Michael, but I don't remember who even filmed it, and I'd never expected it to blow up. I mean, I was just posting, I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was like overnight crazy.
It's super crazy. Like, it's literally been featured on like sports shows. I've seen it on like Fox Sports 1 shows and like breakdowns and things like that. And what's always funny to me is like, obviously it's super impressive, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not the hardest combo you can do by any means.
I know. And I feel like that's how it goes with like, not just me, like so many trickers and tumblers and stuff. Like the stuff that looks really cool is the stuff that picks up, and then you're like, but wait, there's more.
Totally. Yeah. Or like in our business, like me and Paul, for example, like we train super hard, and like we get to these jobs to do like a commercial, and they'll always be like, we want you to do this aerial. We want you to do this flash kick, because it just looks beautiful, you know? And to them, they're like, we just love the picture.
Aesthetically pleasing.
It's insane, man. So
People love it.
Wow. So did you see any immediate like results or fallout from this going viral? Because like that's something I never asked you. Like, how did things change once this video got released?
It was like, actually, it wasn't even an overnight thing. I think with this one, there was the like one similar that went crazy overnight, but this one, I think it took like a good 2 or 3 months before it like randomly just started blowing up on Facebook on my own personal page, and then seeing it like being reshared and stuff. I'm like, where's this coming from?
Wow,
it's nuts. And and like that's when I just started putting out more content. Like when I saw that one could go viral, my goal after that was not to go viral again by any means, but I'm like, well, people actually do like to see the stuff I'm doing. I should post some more stuff.
Put more content out. Yeah.
And so then like that's when I started doing more things and being invited to more places as like a guest at events and stuff, and it kind of all just snowballed. Yeah,
I remember at one point I had met with you and Samantha, and she was saying like your goal for the year was to get to 100,000 followers, and you're way past that at this point, right? Yeah. What are you at right now?
I think I hit like 233 yesterday.
Okay. So were you at 100 yet when this video had come out, or no?
Oh gosh, no, I might have been at 10K.
Wow. And it just starts snowballing over and over again. That's crazy. That's pretty wild, especially since, like we said, it started on Facebook. That's where I saw it at first, was all those shares. So, question. How did the Dom Bomb evolve? Or how did this obsession, or I guess not obsession, but like mastery of seated flips begin?
So this is actually not the Dom Bomb. The Dom Bomb is the sitting backflip. Right? Yes. Because I'm like very strict on not taking credit for what's not mine. And so the sitting handspring was, I had first seen it by a cheerleader named Brian Carter who had done it.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's impossible. I'm never going to try it. And then a bunch of these like cheerleaders at my home gym, All American Flames, were like pestering me to try it. And I'm like, absolutely not. And they would not leave me alone about it, to the point where I'm like, you know what, whatever. So I sat down, tried it, and I got it first try, and I'm like, all right. So then I started doing stuff out of it, and I'm like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
And then eventually that's when I was like, you know what, I got to just take the hands away. And that's when the Dom Bomb came about.
Dang, that's crazy. And did you land the Dom Bomb first try?
Yes, I did.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild. Holy crap.
Yep, and that one was wild. And then one of my friends that I taught how to do the sitting handspring, his name's Brandon Burns. He's a gymnast at University of Michigan.
Videos. Yeah.
He landed the Dom bomb right after I did. Like he got pretty quickly right after. And so we're still the only two that I know of to land it.
And then I see there's a little kid that comes out and trains with you sometimes. He doesn't do the Dom bomb, but he does a lot of the seated variations. Yeah. What's his name?
Nidal.
Yeah, that's it.
So Nidal is 8, and he is incredible, like a carbon copy of me. And like how he learned was sitting at home. He and his like siblings are homeschooled, and he would sit at home every day, and his older brother would send me snaps of him sitting in front of the TV, literally just studying my body movement and figuring it out himself. So he just trained himself by watching me sitting in his living room.
No way.
And then now
That's
he's like,
wild.
he's incredible.
Yeah, he's incredible, man. The future is so bright. These kids are doing things that I wasn't even thinking of doing. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, someone like him watched you. How did you get into tumbling? Is this something that you were self-taught, or did you actually go to tumbling classes? What was your background in flipping?
Completely self-taught, actually. So I saw a neighbor do it when I was like 4 years old, and it was like, this was outside at my house on concrete, and so I saw him do it, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. So I tried, failed,
Didn't do so
well. So I still have a dent in my head from that one, like cracked my skull. No, so yeah, I was done for. But I ended up like, I mean, for some reason I like stuck with it. So that was one of those things where like, as a kid, you can be like super stubborn and be like, oh, I want to keep doing something like that, even though I hurt myself, or you could be terrified of it for the rest of your life. And you never try again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it again. Yeah. So I ended up trying it again and got it. And then from there, I was like, wow, this stuff's pretty cool. And I like always felt like a ninja. Yeah. So I was like, this is for me.
Damn, so it's all been self-taught. No way. So did you ever take classes at a certain level to get advanced techniques, or you just learned along the way?
But what I did start coaching at the home gym, Flames, and so when I started coaching there, like they were just shorthanded, and they asked me if I could help out with like very basic tumbling with like young kids and stuff.
Of course.
Forward rolls, easy stuff where they knew I could easily teach the kids without being trained to do it. And so from there I realized I had the knack for coaching, and so I just started coaching. Now I've coached like from like little preschool kids all the way up to elite level, and I've like done a lot of training alongside some Olympic gymnasts and stuff, and so a lot of the technique that I've developed over the years myself comes from training like alongside these people or coaching people.
Wow, that's wild to me. Paul, can you pull up the next one? This one. No, the next one. This one. So
I look so angry. I promise I'm not.
Yeah.
Angry.
So the reason why I'm so mind blown is like I've known Dom guys for a long time, but I just never asked him, I guess, whether or not he was self-taught or not. And what blows my mind is like videos like this is like these aren't really moves that you can just learn like normally. Paul, play this clip. Like the reason why I was under the impression that you tumbled or took classes was like you're throwing double lays and combos here. You know, like you're doing double layouts, and it's like. I can understand like being from a tricker perspective, guys go out and learn how to do like double fulls and things like that. But double lay is a pretty technical move. Like double backflip is a lot different. Double lay is hard.
I prefer double lay.
So how did you learn double lays, or why do you prefer it?
So this video just every time gets me, I'm like, I can just feel my ankle after it.
Yeah.
But like I trained double backs, and I used to do double backs often, and then I was like, you know what? I just want to like start opening up a little bit more. So I'd like take my arms away and just open double
do them
tucks.
without a tuck.
Yeah. Okay. And then eventually I'm like, double layout sounds kind of cool, dangerous, but I feel like I want to try it. And so I recently, not too long ago, posted the video of the first time I did a double layout, and I got it first try on floor. So that was another one where I'm like, I'm gonna start doing stuff out of it.
Dang.
And so the reason I prefer it is because like my double layouts are lower and faster than my double backs.
I was gonna say the trajectory is different because you don't go up to a highest point and rotate. You're almost like at a lower level.
Yeah, it's like Solomon always calls me a water bottle flip. Like
he's
like, I'm like a water bottle flip.
Totally.
But so when I do that though, it's a lot easier to tumble out of because I'm going so fast and all that backward momentum. When I land, I can go directly into
can block right away.
Yeah, so I can continue on. Whereas with a double back, I'm like, and I'm heavy.
That makes sense. On double back, you're almost compressed depending how high you land.
And then when I land, I feel that throughout my whole body in a double back because I'm heavy, and like that's a lot of force, and it hurts.
Yeah. So I was literally going to ask you that. How much do you weigh? Like what what does it take to get your body in the air? Because like you're not like, here's the thing,
I'm
like
not small.
you're not as tiny as Paul and I, like you know, like you're
I'm
definitely
short,
yeah.
but I'm not small.
No, not at all. So how much do you weigh? Like
It's right now. I haven't weighed myself in like a month or two, but my weight fluctuates normally between like 195 and 205.
no way.
Yeah, so it's
you
like
are
always in between
boosting. Holy crap! I feel like one of the only other guys who used to walk around at that was like Danny Graham used to be 205.
Danny,
now
Danny's
he cut
a
down.
monster.
He cut down to like 185. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's a lot taller, so like proportionally he's more, I guess, like lengthened out.
Yeah.
Damn, 205 pounds. That's crazy.
Tossing that around.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't hurt though to have go to the first video, Paul. Guess it doesn't hurt to have softballs
These things
built
right
into your legs, dog.
Yeah.
What are these about? So this is something that I have to ask you about, otherwise I feel like people would I don't know, destroy me. Even Paul's tripping out.
I know, check up.
Guys,
I know.
Paul is behind the cameras looking at his calves right now, trying to compare like what? You never seen this video, Paul? Dude. The comparison,
Yeah.
right? Yo.
Like-
so what's the story, Dom? Do you train your calves or no?
It all comes from the tumbling, I think, and like the tricking and stuff. But I always say I won the genetic lottery. Like I have 7 siblings, and I'm the only one built like this.
Oh.
And so because my dad, he was on the pro boxing side, like Olympic bound, and he's big up here, but has chicken legs. And then my mom has like really thick, strong legs, and I somehow got like the perfect.
You got half
ratio.
half. Yeah.
And then like, yeah, so the calf thing, I don't know, like I've always had big calves, I guess.
Your whole life you've always had big calves.
Wow. Someone told me, I think it was my chiropractor that said part of it might have to do with the way I stand. I stand with my feet kind of like pointed out like this, and I walk like that. And he said that might do something to the calf muscle as well.
Nah, dog, because I stand with my feet out.
He lied to me.
I be standing with my feet out all the time because of injuries, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you don't do any specific workout for them? Just
No, and I've like never lifted weights really a day in my life.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, what's your cross training or conditioning? Because some people are obsessive to the point that like they have to build their body up to get calves like that in order to mentally think, oh, I can sustain a double layout. Whereas you're just tumbling, and instinctually, and as a result of that, your body's just getting structurally stronger.
I've almost always been afraid of working out because I'm not saying like I'm gigantic by any means, but like I don't want to get any bigger than I am.
Changes things, yeah.
But yeah, because I mean, it definitely it could possibly slow down my movement. I'm very flexible right now, but I just know that if I added more like muscle mass onto my like legs or arms or something, like what if that took away from my shoulder flexibility, like my leg flexibility?
Oh, it definitely has a huge effect. It has a huge effect. Like Paul and I just recently in the last year put on about 15, 20 pounds each of us. And like, I don't know if I'm speaking for Paul, but I feel it when I flip. Like the times when I wasn't flipping consistently along the weight gain, I felt crazy, bro. Like I literally felt like my knees were gonna fall apart. I just felt like insane. It
scares me.
Yeah, but if you like flip while you're gaining the weight each and every week, like Paul's been doing, it's a lot easier.
That'd probably help.
That's crazy. So with that being said, though, how's your body been with injuries? Like with all of these crazy stunts and high level moves you're doing, how's your body holding up? I can really only remember the ankle.
Yeah, I mean, I've sustained some decently bad injuries, but not too many considering how long I've been doing this stuff. But yeah, the ankle I've shattered twice, and one time they had to put screws in.
Okay.
And that was back in 2012, and then eventually I had the screws taken out because I told them, I'm like, look, I'm going to continue on doing what I'm doing, and if these screws snap inside of my ankle, you're going to have to take them out in pieces, so you might as well take them out in one. So like that was the first one, and then I had broken it again at Hooked in 2015, and that's where that crazy double layout video where I was all like pumped up and in a lot of pain, that was like probably not even a full month after Hooked where I broke my ankle but didn't know it was broken.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I found out a few months later. They're like, it healed incorrectly and they wanted to re-break it and stuff. I'm like, absolutely not.
No way.
So I just dealt with it.
Yeah.
But so the ankle twice. I've broken my sternum twice.
Whoa, how'd you break your sternum?
So the first time was a couple months after this ankle injury. It was at the first Neo, and I was on the trampoline. Like they had a trampoline there, and I couldn't do much because I was still in a boot, like screws fresh in the ankle. Should have been doing nothing.
Of course
and
not.
Phil Gibbs, wherever you are, Phil, he's like egging me on.
Probably Australia.
To do, down in Australia. I don't know. He travels a bit too sometimes.
He does.
So he's like egging me on to do crazy stuff, and everyone's there, and I'm like just getting hyped up. So I'm like, whatever, I'm going to try a triple back. Had never done one. So I'm like, boot and all, try a triple back. Close my eyes like an idiot for some reason, and like I just heard like that airwayness, I can hear the wind go past my ears. I'm like, oh, 1, 2, 3, open up, No, back of my head and then my stomach at the same time.
No
so my chin
way.
popped.
You just compressed yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my chin snapped it right here.
No
and then
way.
pulled some muscles in my neck.
Is that like immediate pain or?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like it hurt to breathe, and it's a long healing process because there's nothing they can really do for you.
Yeah, you just have to sit it out. It's like broken back type stuff where you basically just have to wait for it to heal.
And then the second time, don't ever drink and train, everybody.
Yes. Words of wisdom.
It's words of wisdom. So it's really bad. It's just the second time I was at the gym that I was working at when I was in college, and I was with some of the kids that I was coaching. They're like in their later teens, and so we were there like after hours, like having fun jumping around. And then like I was like, whatever, I'm drinking. I'll drink a little bit. So I like drank, and then I went to do a standing double front, which I can't even do. I can hardly run and do a double front.
Yeah, totally. It's a hard one, dude.
Yeah. So I tried a standing double front, landed pretty much the same way I did when I, like the first time, like this. But this was on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I heard it snap again, but the worst part was I heard a crunch in my teeth, and like my teeth are like my prize. I was ready to murder everyone in the vicinity. I'm like, if my teeth are gone or something, I don't know. I'm gonna die. But like I had a small chip for a long time, and I just got it fixed like this year. But most people didn't even notice. It was so small. But every day I looked at that and just a reminder that I was stupid.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny. Holy crap, dude! A broken sternum is a serious injury. Not one that I would really think about.
No, it's one you don't want.
So how long have you been officially tumbling at this point in your life?
So this is like always a gray area to answer because I've been tumbling since I was 4 when I tried that first backflip, and I didn't stop. I kept trying stuff like from 4 on, pretty steadily, but it was always like more as a hobby and with my brothers outside. So we'd like flip around outside every now and then and stuff.
But you weren't in classes. You weren't going to gymnastics. Yeah,
exactly. But what, like I said, when I was 16 is when I like went to the gym at first, and it was still like a hobby. Like I'd go like maybe once a week or something. And again, I wasn't training to get much better. I'm just like doing the same flips all the time, just doing it for fun. And then when I was 18, I was already in college. I'm like, I feel like I could do more with this. So that's when I really started actually training and like really wanting to progress in tumbling and tricking and stuff. And so it'll be 8 years in May. I remember that's when I started tricking, is 8 years ago in May. So 2011. And then that's when I also started taking tumbling seriously.
Wow. Okay, cool. And I was just going to ask you about that, like how you transitioned from tumbling into tricking. Did you see it online, or what was your first introduction into tricking, separate from like the tumbling you'd been doing?
I got really lucky in like growing up where I did because we had a lot of the good OGs from the Midwest in that area. So like Dan Pitlock.
All the Team EH guys.
So all Team EH. Yeah. So like I'm a part of Team EH, but a good friend of mine, Ian Cutlip, who, I mean, he's been in and out of tricking for a long time, just sustaining a lot of injuries to his knees and stuff. But he was a super close friend of mine for years before I had started tricking. And he's like, hey, you should try doing some tricking stuff. Like, you already have the tumbling. And I did do martial arts as a kid, and I just kind of lost touch with it. And then he's like, you should just try like integrating the two and do some of this cool stuff. And he's like the iciest tricker ever. So I'm sitting there watching like, okay, it's pretty cool. So eventually I'm all right, I want to be a part of this. And then I loved it. So like right after I started tricking, that was in 2011, right after I started in May, that June was like OMG Summer Down Under. So that was my first gathering, like 2 weeks into tricking. And that's where I met Bailey Payne for the first time when he was 14.
Crazy.
There was like Kyle Skelly was there. And there were like just so many crazy banger, like just so good, like so many good people there. And then a month after that was Dreadnought 11, where Danny, Anise, all those guys. So literally this is all within like the first 2 months of me tricking, where I'm like, okay, this is for me. You got
put into the culture right away.
Instantly. And it made me fall in love like so quick.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Those are two pretty big events, like especially out for the East Coast ones. Exactly. Those are the big East Coast ones separate from loop kicks out on the West. So.
Yep. And OMG segued into NEO, but it was originally OMG, Ohio Midwest Gathering, and then they changed it to NEO, Northeast Ohio Gathering, but it's same group.
Totally, man. So that's super wild. So how often did you start meeting up with those guys locally to trick, or were you just exposed to it and then went back to your own gym and just kind of went in the lab on your own?
It was a little bit of a mixture of both. So like once I was exposed to it, Dan and all those guys had gotten the Tricker House in Ohio, like the iconic, like the crazy place. Yeah. And so Ian ended up moving down there as well. So I would go down there sometimes to train with them, like. It was pretty rarely. So it was more so like training at home on my own and then just waiting till summer for like all the events and stuff. Yeah. So it was like training with Ian also had gotten some other like local guys into it. So I was training with those local guys at my home gym Flames before finally like whenever summer would hit, that's when it's like, all right, every single gathering possible, I'm going. And then that's when summer's like the craziest growth.
It's the craziest. Yeah. Summer is crazy, especially if you're at a time in your life where you can commit to just traveling around and hitting all the gatherings. That's when you really level up. Yeah, it's wild. That's cool, man. So with that being said, like what did you naturally progress into as far as tricking goes? Like I feel like you got really good at swing through gainers right away. Was that like a natural progression because of the tumbling? It just fell within the same rhythm, or
that was because of breaking the ankle actually. When I was in that boot, I couldn't use my left leg. I'm like, I need to try something, so I started doing swings. So it helped having like a heavy boot on that ankle because it added the weight. And then like once I picked up the technique, I'm like, okay, I like these. So yeah, it helped with swings, and then the tumbling helped with a lot of the tricking stuff. Even though I still do trick, but I mainly do tumbling. But like all of my tricking stuff is very power based, and a lot of that does come from the tumbling, and then just like my body style. So I do a lot more of the not so much the kicking aspect, but more like the power moves and like the flipping, twisting stuff, as opposed to mixing in the kicks and ground transitions.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I have a question for you. Yo, Paul, pull up. Let's go to the second one. Next one. Keep going. This one.
Yeah.
So on this one, bro, I had a question for you. And the caption is who thinks I can double gainer on the fourth one? Have you ever attempted the double gainer yet?
I have.
Oh, okay.
It's been a couple years, but I've tried it from gainer switch.
So gainer switch, double gainer.
Yeah, so this fourth one, boom, like I launched. I'm like, someday I should try. And Velu had already done it. And so I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll be the second. And Velu held that title for so long, up until last year. 2 or 3 other people got it. Russians, of course, because they're all so strong.
Alexander Titarenko did that crazy J step.
Oh, man.
It's one of the wildest ones I've ever seen.
They're so good.
The way he did it made me believe I could do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't though.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not that easy. So I've tried, and I've gotten it to like hands and knees and gotten to my knees and stuff, but I haven't tried in a few years. And I guess, putting on some weight, drinking too many beers.
What's the record on swings? Because I knew at one point you were chasing the record too.
I had the world record for a while.
You were just running out of space at some point. Yeah.
Yep. So I had it with 16, then 17, then 18, and then Ilya beat it with, it was either 25 or 26 at Hooked one year, and then Farid on concrete with like 30.
30, I think. It's like 29 or 30. Yeah.
It's 30. Like,
I don't understand.
How the hell?
Yeah, for Farid Zoutan, he's next level. Though.
Yeah,
he's
incredible.
I don't know what he's doing, but he is like a concrete killer.
I met up with him in France when we were just there before Hook. The Grab Gang went to France first.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I'm in your hotel lobby. Come down here.
No way.
Like, all right, let's go.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so we went out. I had met him once before. And so I'm like, cool. Like, so we came down there and hung out with him a little bit. And he was like, wanted to meet some of the other guys. And then he threw down a little bit on concrete, of course, doing like 15 gainer switches to double cork and stuff. Just like on command, no warm up. And I'm like, you're such a freak. Because I don't know how like his body can withstand that.
I don't get it. His landings are wild. He's doing double flips, multiple gainers,
full ins,
crazy combos,
like on concrete,
hardcore tumbling on concrete.
Some of the hardest tumbling you can do, and it's like
yes. From a technical standpoint, it's insane.
Yeah,
that's wild. Okay, cool. So, what's the record you've hit? You've hit yourself 17?
18. Yep. Okay. And then I don't know why I haven't really tried in a while. I might get back into trying to. I honestly don't think I'm gonna top 30.
Totally. Yeah, it's a lot.
I might try. Dude. I mean, I'll try, but I just if we're being
lot.
honest, I don't know if I can hit that. But
there's some records that just like Bailey's quirk record.
Yeah.
I feel like no one's gonna touch that for a long time.
No.
Yeah. Maybe Shosei.
I was about to say.
He's been training them. I saw him put a video out where he did like 14 or 15.
All right, Bailey, give it 1 week.
Yeah, and he said in the video, he's like, I can't believe Bailey did this many, and I'm like, yeah, but you're 14, dog.
And you just started training them.
And you barely trained them, and you just did like 14.
And you did half of his.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Game on.
So I had another question. Paul, pull up one of these other, I think the first one. What was this event that I saw online? It said you guys were warming up for the Guinness World Records.
Yes.
And what was this? Did you actually go for some Guinness World Records?
I did. This was kind of like a crazy little thing. So this was around my birthday back in September.
Yeah, last year.
Yep. We had, they called it like Smash, and it was a Guinness World Records sponsored event along with Max Air Trampolines. And so this is in Detroit, and they set this stuff up outside, like in Hart Plaza, like right in downtown Detroit on the water. And so like people walking by could come and see.
Cool.
And so people were trying to set like acrobatic records. So Aaron Cook was doing like the highest standing tuck.
Nice.
Mine was supposed to be the most sitting handsprings I can do. Like originally I'm like, okay, how many I can do consecutively? Because how I do it there is I go onto my butt, back onto my butt.
Exactly.
And I'm like, all right, let's see how many I can do consecutively. Because I hold the record with that. The only other person that's done more than one is Nidal, and he's done like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, this is an easy one. I can do that. And then later on, they like, before the event, but like later on after negotiating like what we're going to do, they're like, well, you know what? We don't want you to do just that. We want to see how many you can do in a time frame. I'm like,
yeah, that's what they normally do is number in a minute.
Yikes. Yeah. But
30 seconds.
Then they wanted me to do 3 minutes.
3 minutes is way too long.
I did 3 minutes. And this is the thing though, is that I had to like, instead of me actually setting the record, they gave me a minimum number I had to hit.
In order to even be eligible.
Guess what the number was?
For 3 minutes?
For 3 minutes.
I don't know. 10?
Bruh, they wanted me to do it. Oh, wait, quick. They wanted me, everyone I did had to be back onto my butt to count.
Yeah.
They wanted me to do 75 in a 3 minute time frame. I'm like, there's no one who can do that many flips on a rod floor in any way in 3 minutes.
You'll lose it. There's no way.
And so what ended up giving out were my arms eventually, because like every time I go like from the sitting position onto my hands, I have to pop off back onto my butt. If I could go to my feet, it would have been a little bit different, but still not. It wouldn't have made that much of a difference.
75 is insane.
I got 19.
And you're the best at it
in
the world.
But they weren't having it.
You know what's crazy about that is I just saw the world record broken for most backflips.
Yeah.
Did you see that one, Paul, that just came out today?
I haven't seen that.
Go to WFPF. Go to Instagram.com/WFPF right now. It's on their page from today.
See, that's nuts.
And 30 seconds.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
In 30 seconds, I could do, because I do whips.
There may be an underscore or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. All right.
Yeah, but like whips, I don't know if I still have the record with whips, but I've done like 25 consecutive whips, and that I could do in 30 seconds, because that I do in under 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to do one. Yeah. So check this out. Here it is. Yeah. What's the handle, by the way? The WFPF. Yeah. Okay, of course. How can I forget?
There's no way.
I'm the Travis Wong. Yes, but look at this world record that came out.
And how many?
30 seconds.
I mean, how many did he do?
16.
60. See, I've done 25. Dang it. I want to do this.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, they should definitely give you 30 seconds, bro.
And
dude, just to flip for 3 minutes, that's impossible.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible. Like, this guy, as you'll watch, the reason why I want to show you this is he starts to break form 20 seconds in to 30. So it's like, how can they expect you to go for 2 minutes and 40 seconds longer doing something that's way harder than a wall flip?
Yeah. It was.
Look, he's dead already.
Yeah. See, I'm not too salty about it. I'm like, hey, I went out there and I tried my best. I understand that they don't understand the physicality behind what I was doing. But one thing that really, it did irk me is that the other records being set were like, I don't want to say they were simple by any means, but they had a much lighter tone to what they had to meet.
Of course.
There was an elite trampolinist there. Lawrence is his name. And he had to do he had to break the record of the most double backs on a trampoline. He's an elite trampolinist. So it was, I think he had to beat like 4.
What?
He had to do more than 4 in a row, but he was allowed jumps in between each one.
I can name you about 45 kids on Instagram that are 12 years old who could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, he went way
Of course,
beyond
because
it.
he's elite level.
He's
Yeah,
like,
but I'm
whatever.
saying that's just crazy.
Yeah,
though.
and then there were some other ones like the most double fulls consecutively and stuff on a trampoline. And it's like, dang. And like here I had to do 3. I was the only timed one, actually.
3 minutes is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like way too much stuff can happen.
That's
That's one round of heavyweight boxing that can end quicker. Yeah. 3 minutes is insane, dog. I don't know many people that can sustain doing something full out for 3 minutes besides like a track and field athlete running,
And like I train as much as I can, but like traveling and stuff makes it kind of hard, and I'm not in the best shape. So yeah, like when I hit 19 and I'm legit, like I was so sick to my stomach, my arms were dead. This is a lot of weight to pick up, but I'm like, oh,
that's awesome.
But we had fun.
Yeah, man.
It was a fun time. I did love doing it.
So how many days are you training nowadays? Are you training for fun? Are you training to maintain? Are you training to chase tricks still? What's training like these days?
It's more so for fun and to maintain. Okay. I would like to get back in a regular training regimen where I can train to actually get better, but it makes it so difficult. Like I get off a plane and I have to go here to this event or like go to the hotel, maybe sleep, get up early, and then do this. But like I spend a lot of time in gyms all over the place. But I mean, you've done a lot of acrobatic stuff where you want to still get a feel, like all floors are pretty similar, but they're different. And like you want to get a feel for them and stuff. And so it makes it hard when you can't train somewhere for more than one day at a time.
Yeah.
And so like I'd like to go like stay somewhere for like maybe a month. Like if I could stay here later this year for like a month and just train at Jam 3-4 days a week, I would definitely feel some progress, I'm sure. But instead, like every time I train, it's like I'm trying to maintain what I have. And I've done well with that, but I want to get back into it to where I can actually do stuff.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to maintain because consistency is so key in a sport where timing is such a crucial part of it.
Yeah.
My hardest thing is when I get on these movies, I'll like be training for like, I'll be killing it, going to train 5 days a week. And as soon as I get on a movie, I'm working 6-7 days a week for 3 to 4 months at a time. And then everything's just gone. Like when I come back, I'm just trying to get in shape first and not hurt myself. Then I'm trying to like relearn stuff.
It's a constant battle. It's pretty crazy. And like, we're not getting any younger.
No, we're not. Ugh. It's a scary thing. Although I have told people this, like, because we're very open about, that I'm starting to get older here. I'm in my 30s now. I do feel physically stronger than ever. Like, I feel like I build muscle way easier now. It's just the recovery time and the warm-up time is like 3 times as long.
Yep, that's exactly like I feel the same. Like I definitely feel I'm at like the strongest I've been. Maybe not the most fit, but I'm definitely the strongest I've ever been. Yeah. But definitely like when I'm sore for a couple days now. And like if I tweak my ankle, it used to be like, by the end of the session I'm okay, or maybe like a day or two, maybe a week if it was like a light sprain. Now it's like 2 weeks I'm gonna be feeling that in my ankle.
Yeah.
And like, the body wears down and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, if I could give any advice to people that are out there listening that are young kids, that if you're still a teenager right now, do not take your body for granted.
Absolutely.
We only have one of them, and like obviously there's a lot of I've had surgery on both knees. I've had surgery on my shoulder. Like modern medicine is an incredible thing, but you have one body. So like take care of it. Make sure you do maintenance. Make sure that you not only just trick and train, but make sure that you're like rolling out your muscles. Make sure that you're like getting massages.
There are so many kids when I ask because I work with kids constantly, like all this stuff I'm doing. And it's like mostly like teenage kids who are just getting into this or they're like really into it. And I ask them all still, I'm like, how often do you stretch? So many of them are like, I've never stretched. They're like, I don't ever stretch. And I'm like, that's just so dangerous. I highly recommend, whether or not you believe in it, like stretching is one of your best injury preventions. Like unless you're naturally super flexible, like Nidal doesn't really need to stretch. He's 8. His body is
elastic still.
He's just fine. And he still stretches though.
Totally. Yeah. That's
and the thing, so it's like, but yeah, stretching will be like one of your best friends with injury prevention. Like whether or not you're in a heavy training regimen or something, like stretching daily is just healthy anyway.
Yeah.
And so like stretching, so important. And then, again, like routine body maintenance. Like if you need to go to a chiropractor, do it, or massage, like do those things and take care of yourself.
And you don't even have to spend money. Like if you don't have money, go get a tennis ball or softball and look up tips online of how to use a softball to roll your body out and do myofascial release. Like
you can get really cheap foam rollers and stuff too, like little marshmallow sticks. Like there are so many things.
This is stuff that like I wish that I did when I was younger, and that's why like I'm more than happy to share with the kids that are listening out there now, because it would have saved me a lot of time and trouble, like a lot of time and trouble. And I just feel like it's something crucial. So one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you about is how can kids out there make a career off of flipping? Yeah. Like I basically wanted to bring you in to talk about this because a lot of the guys I bring on the show like work in the stunt industry with myself, or they do some facet entertainment industry. But you're one of the few people I could say is like professional tumbler and like world traveler. So what are some steps that kids can take out there, or like what does your life entail? You know what I'm saying? Like, just to set some goals for some kids out there.
So it's hectic doing what I do, but I absolutely love it. And I just feel that a lot of kids get discouraged sometimes for some reason. And I see that like what I do and what Bailey does, like professionally traveling around doing it, seems like such a far reach. But I mean, if it can happen for us, why can't it happen for them,
Totally.
And so what I just tell them is always go about everything they're doing with just enthusiasm, a good attitude, because a lot of that takes you so far as well. Because I mean, I have a lot of skill, but there are there are just an astronomical amount of athletes out there who are better than me. There are better tumblers than me, better trickers, but attitude has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
So just being persistent and just having a good positive attitude toward what you're doing, networking and just going to as many events as you can. I understand that like being a teen, it's hard to travel around. You have school, money might be an issue,
tight,
and stuff like that. So just if you can, like take time out of the summer, train well, and just in order to make it a career, just do your best at all times. Kind of try not to slack. Like when I try to post at least every day and stuff, just to keep the social media aspect, because that is a big part of my job, honestly. Social media.
It's growing your own brand
exactly.
At this point, Yeah.
And so just kind of making sure you're consistent with wanting to grow yourself as an athlete or as like on social media, not necessarily for the fame or anything, but growing your social media to be able to make it a career in a way. Obviously not have that be solely your career, but brand deals and stuff like that's very real. And
and it segues in both ways, because like before we started the podcast, I was showing Dom all the Instagram sponsors I have now. I have a crap load of sponsors.
So many.
But you know what's even cooler than those sponsors I have was last year I literally booked 3 jobs for the film industry on SAG union contracts off of Instagram.
See, that's
it's crazy.
The power of social media,
is
insane.
Yeah.
So like utilize it best you can. Don't like turn into someone you're not just to grow. But make sure you like utilize it in the best way you can. You can sit and watch and study like YouTube videos of like, or not watch YouTube videos on how to grow on Instagram or YouTube and stuff, but study people who've done it. Like Kyle Skelly, Plan Zero, like. He's grown astronomically and a successful clothing brand, an incredible guy, an incredible tricker.
Totally.
And then like me, Bailey, Michael Guthrie, there's so many people who've done.
There's examples now.
Yeah. Like it's good to study people as well. And that's something I've always done a lot of is like studying just people and behavior. And so I guess just look at those who made it and try to kind of figure out how or why they did.
Okay.
And I mean, again, mine is a lot from viral videos and stuff, of course, but like I said before, it's that consistent training back then, not now as much, but consistent training and trying to be creative and just think outside the box, do something different, do something cool that people like to see. Because this is more, a lot of times it's kind of entertainment in a way.
Yeah.
So when they're watching this stuff, like I inspire some people to do stuff, but at the same time, they just love watching this fat guy jump around, you know?
Do these flips, yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, like that's a lot of what it is. But also, I've been doing a lot of work with like the G-Tramp community.
Yes.
And for those guys, we've tried to like, I've been working a lot with Greg Rowe, and then I've done a lot of stuff with Circus Tricks, Defy, like trampoline parks. And so we've started trying to come up with events and stuff to help these kids network with each other more and grow each other. And then with GT games that Greg created and I've had a big hand in helping with. The GT games were first held in San Diego, and then we had one in Europe and now down in New Zealand. And so we have like different areas of the world where we're getting all these kids together where they can compete and win prizes and stuff. So it's making it more of a legitimate sport for them and where they can actually become professionals in a way. Okay. And so like stuff like that, like again, just train your hardest, do your best, be creative, all those things. And then just kind of keep on the lookout for events that you could go to attend or competitions. Like, don't be afraid to try stuff, you know?
Yeah, get yourself out there.
Exactly.
You got to take big risks for big rewards sometimes and, like, go out of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. So we got to shout this out, obviously, because it's on your shirt. And honestly, half the clips that we post in the damn Jam Breakdown are from the squad. So So what is gravitated equations and what are you in relation to it? Just kind of, I guess, talk people through what gravitated equations is and what your role is.
Yeah, so Grav started a few years ago, and my name, Uncle Dom, came from Solomon, Solo Flow 7.
Solomon Berg.
Yes, good old Sol. So there was once a point in time, like years ago, where I was living in South Carolina, like near Jack and Bailey for a little while with, do you know Scott Browder?
Oh, I do know who he is. Yeah.
So I was
only through
Browder.
Snapchat and them.
Oh, boy. Of course, So I was living with Scott for a while and like around Jack and Bailey and Adam and those guys. And Solomon came down to visit me. So Solomon flew down and hung out with me, stayed with me for like a week and a half. And then it became a joke. They started calling me Uncle Dom because I was like his legal guardian at the time.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of stuck. And then more and more people started calling me that. And so Solomon created gravitated equations a couple years ago. So I've always been really close with him. And when he started it, I've been a huge supporter of it. I would like wear the stuff all the time, shout it out all the time because I love it. Like it's really comfortable clothing. It is good. I'm not just saying that because sponsored. Like I was wearing it before I was sponsored or anything. So it's like it started off as like very like minimal amounts of clothing being sold. They were pressing the stuff in their basement. And it was like more of like a sketch comedy acrobatic like Instagram channel. And so it just caught fire within the community to where people were like, this is hilarious. These guys are talented, but they're like awesome and really funny at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you guys should make merch. And they started with the merch, and it started pretty like, small scale, and then it just blew up. So now within like tricking, parkour, free running, G-Tramp especially, like Grav has like gotten just tossed out there everywhere now.
Yeah, totally.
And so again, being like a huge supporter of them from the beginning, when Grav started to get really huge, and Solomon's dad Eli and Andrew Friedman's the other creator of Grav, his dad Mike, they were like, hey, we want to turn this into a more legitimate business and like really do stuff with this. So they kind of took it over in the clothing aspect and really like started putting some money into it to get high quality clothing and like actually getting the stuff printed. And so now there's like a whole corporate, like there's an office and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they approached me. They're like, hey, you already support us like all the time anyway, and you've been like such a good friend to our kids and helped out so much. Like, you want to be our first sponsored athlete? And I'm like, well, duh. I mean, I don't have to change anything else I'm doing already.
Totally,
And so what they started doing is just like helping me out, like travel more and all kinds of stuff, and obviously like giving me all the new stuff to help promote them. But it's been a crazy, fun, wild ride. But like, Grav is great. Like, I do love it.
And so what's up with the Grav Pad now? You have a spot at the Grav Pad, or who's living at the Grav Pad?
So the Grav Pad is technically me, Jack, Bailey, and Z.
Okay.
Although I'm never ever there.
Yeah.
So I've actually never once stayed in that house. So so there's the Grav Pad, and then there's the Grav House, or they also call it the Grav Lab.
Yeah.
So I usually stay there when I'm in town, just because it gets really crazy in the Grav Pad. Because I mean, a lot of people come through and stay often. Like Brittany Hertz is another Grav athlete.
Yeah.
She's in town a lot. Eric 3-Run, Eric Mukamechin, Pasha, and so there are a lot of people who are in and out all the time, and so it's fun. It's crazy. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen like the spring floor. We had to take the springs out, but
why?
The landlord. So there's still the floor, the padding, but the springs got taken out, and the trampoline had to be taken down in the backyard.
No way. How come?
Neighbors complaining about noise and stuff.
Gang.
Because like the neighborhood it's in is.
I mean, they're in Brentwood.
Yeah, so it's like older people who are like, I'm in bed by 5, don't make a noise past that, or I'm calling the cops.
They've like worked their way up to live in that place to be quiet.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, you teens are in there doing flips and breaking stuff, and
totally.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun. And then Chris Gilman is the Grav videographer and like filmmaker. He lives in the Grav Pad as well, so he kind of took over my room.
Nice.
And so that's where he stays. So yeah, I kind of just give him his own space, and they all have their own rooms and stuff. So I just chill down at the Grav House when I sleep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what can someone that's like a kid that like is looking up to you guys, like, what can they do in regards to like sponsorships, or like, do you have any advice for them of like how to get exposure, or how they can get recognized and noticed by guys like you?
Yeah. A lot of that comes from, as I mentioned before, like networking. So anytime you are like, I post all the time on my story, and Bailey and Jack and those guys do have like events that we're going to, stuff like that. So it really helps to like try to go to events where you see your idols and get to meet some of these people, where you can truly establish relationships and get advice face to face. So that helps a ton. And then don't be afraid to approach brands sometimes, like whether you're big or small, it's not going to hurt. I mean, the worst that they're going to say is no, and at the end of the day, you're living the same life you just had, but that's like nothing's bad,
That's a great point, man. And I find that even just within the stunt industry, a lot of times people are just afraid to ask sometimes, because they're just so scared that the answer could be no. But sometimes all it takes is asking.
Yeah.
And you never know
what happens when it's a yes. It's like, well then.
Yeah. Just changed my whole life because I'm the one guy that had the balls to ask.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to get yourself out there. Again, go at it with enthusiasm. Like, be fun, be happy. Don't be fake, because people can tell.
Yeah.
So like just be yourself, but have fun with it, and don't think of it as, I need to get sponsored in order to do this and this. Like, I need that clothing sponsorship and stuff. Just like, have fun with it, and don't take it too seriously. Obviously take it seriously, but don't make it be like your life wrapped up in like, I need to be some sort of sponsored athlete or something. It's totally. Like, you can still have fun and do a lot without being sponsored. I'm sure there are a lot of athletes out there that we sit and watch that aren't sponsored by things that we don't even
100%.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know whether or not they are. I'm just watching them because they're dope.
Yeah, no, I got a message in the Jam account, like on the Jam Instagram last week, and it was some kid that was like, "Can you repost my video? I need to hit 1,500 followers. I've been stuck at it forever." And I was just like, man, I just took the time to respond. I was like, hey, man, like what you're doing is great. Don't worry about the 1,500 followers. Yeah. They'll come. But like, don't stress over it, dude. Like what you're doing is great. Just worry about your training and the followers will come. So
and that's that's Instagram and like social media is such a good tool, but at the same time, that kind of stuff right now I think is pretty detrimental to teens sometimes, like just younger kids in this generation, because they see that and like that's what they base their value on. It's like
they want a million. They want to they want to have 1 million followers.
Yeah,
they want to be Insta famous.
And it's like the amount of followers you have does not equate to like your value as a human being and like your skill level. There are like Michael Guthrie, best tricker ever of all time, and here I have 233K and he's at like 35K.
I have more than him.
Yeah,
I tell people that all. I have more than Shosei, dog. Yeah, I'm like, if you're following me and you're not following Shosei and Michael Guthrie,
and Mike, like
you're messing up.
It's nuts. They are like two of the most talented acrobatic minds ever
of
in
all
history,
time.
Ever.
Yeah,
and look, I mean, they don't have 1 million followers. They don't have as many as I do, and they're both astronomically better than I am.
Half the people we feature on the Jam Breakdown, they have like 1,000. They'll couple hundred likes or maybe 100 likes on their videos, and they're doing stuff that's catching our attention because it's like we've never seen it before.
Exactly. So I mean, just attack every day with like the fun, happy attitude.
Yes.
Do what you do and like be creative in your training, stuff like that, and like that's what catches wind. Not so much asking like, hey, how do I get more followers, or hey, how do I get more views? It's like just do you and be natural and have fun with it, and like it'll come.
It'll grow organically.
Yeah.
Okay. So cool, man. So as we're starting to get older and we're starting to wind down as far as our bodies are concerned, what's the plan for you in the next few years, man? You have like a 5-year and a 10-year plan. What's Dom gonna do with his body and with his career?
Hopefully keep it intact. But I went to college, went to a private business school, studied international business, and my goal since I was probably like 16, so a good 10 years now, has been to open my own gym.
Cool.
Like once I went to that gym, like All American Flames, I'm like, I'm opening my own gym someday.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and then like you've been a big inspiration with that. And then like the Tempest stuff. So like Jam, Tempest, all these places, I'm like, that sounds so cool to me. Like that's been a life goal. So also I love traveling, but my all time favorite country is New Zealand. And I want to open my own gym in New Zealand. So like that's been my goal since I was probably like 16.
Damn, the New Zealand connection, Paul, right?
Yes, there are some triggers down there.
No, it's just crazy, bro. Like a project that I'm trying to get on right now is going to go film in New Zealand, and like this is something that just like it's just been the fact that you just said New Zealand is just crazy. You know,
it's a wonder.
There's just a lot of things we've been talking about lately have been getting brought up. So synchronicity is key.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so New Zealand of all places, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I was actually just there for the GT Games New Zealand. We hosted one down there, and that was in January. So right after Experience Tricking, my manager Samantha's event, I flew over to New Zealand and had a blast. I was only there for like 5 days, didn't even get to explore much, and I'm just like, this is where I need to be.
Dang, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, definitely let us know whenever that's on the agenda.
Sure.
We'll all come through and stuff like that, man. That's awesome. Well, yo, I appreciate you coming through, Dom. What do you have coming up that people can look out for? Are there any events you have coming up or anything big to look out for?
So, I mean, again, like this weekend, it's a little short notice, but, they won't even see this by then probably.
They may not, yeah.
Well, if you do, Woodward Tahoe this weekend, this Saturday, come on. But so I mean, any summer camps and stuff throughout the summer, I'll be at Woodward, Tahoe a couple weeks, I think Woodward West, possibly Flip Fest again. Cool. So like camps and stuff like that. But also April 20th in Atlanta, Reed Presley and I, do you know who Reed is?
Yes, this will definitely be out before then, so shout this out.
Okay, yeah.
Look in this camera, tell them.
This one?
Speaking to your camera, Dom.
All of you, okay? Everyone in the room too. So Driven to Dream was a cool idea that my manager Samantha and myself and Reed Presley. Reed is a phenomenal martial artist, world champion.
He's pretty good with the weapons.
Yeah, he's all right with weapons, I guess. Double bow staff. He's insane. So if you haven't ever seen any of his stuff, check it out. But Reed and I are teaming up and doing a camp together, like a 1-day big fun camp where we'll be working on teaching weapons forms and like extreme forms and tumbling, tricking, and all that stuff together throughout like an entire day. So that's called Driven to Dream. It'll be in Atlanta on April 20th. And so we're just going to go there, have a blast with all the kids who come and just run like a really good structured camp. and hopefully teach you guys a lot of really cool stuff. And then you can pick our brains from like someone who's well seasoned in the tumbling and tricking realm, and then Reed being one of the best weapons athletes ever out there. So
where can people go to check out info on that? Go to Facebook, or is there a website?
So I promote on my Instagram all the time. So does Reed. And then my website, domitrick.com. My manager, Samantha, simplysam.com. And then Reed will be posting about it a ton. So cool. Yeah, just stay tuned on like all the stories, and then of course Facebook as well. I don't use my athlete page as much as I should. I've used my personal Facebook is Dominique Marquise Lewis. It's my full name.
Well, yeah.
You guys can all see it. It's public. So yeah, my Facebook, and then Instagram a ton, and then I will hopefully start getting back into more YouTube stuff. I do have a YouTube channel. Just look up Dom Lewis, and so I've done a lot of vlogging and stuff, and like a tutorial. I'm going to start doing more tutorials, but I'll definitely be shouting out different events that I'll be doing, and then posting videos of those events on there as well. So
dope. And then real quick, back into that camera, what's your Instagram so people can follow?
Instagram is at Domitrick. Now, originally it was Dom I Trick.
Yes.
Because I'm like, my name's Dom and I Trick, and that's why I started it.
It's changed a little.
And then, because my name's Dominique, it's not even Dominic. And people think Domitrick is a play on Dominic. I'm like, oh, actually, it's not it at all. So everyone started calling it Domitrick. So then I'm like, you know what? That's what it is. Domitrick, Domitrick.
Dang, crazy, man. Well, thanks for coming through, Dom. I really appreciate it, man, especially with a busy schedule. I'm glad that we were able to get you in here before you take off on another plane. So,
yeah. Tomorrow.
Man. So, yeah, guys, like I said, go over and follow Dom. Check out the rest of his content online. Try to make it down if you're on the East Coast, especially in the southern region. Head over to his event on April 20th down there with him and Reed Presley. Check it out. Go to his website, and we'll throw all the information up online and also on the screen and below in the description.
For sure.
Yeah, and for those of you that are on the West Coast, if you're not doing anything that weekend, come join us over at Trick Different Quattro.
Yes.
I'll be out in Colorado Springs, Colorado with myself, Sam Kojo, and also Steve Tirada and Mr. Michael Guthrie.
It's going to be so dope.
So it'll be a fun one too, man. So if you're on the West, come join us in Colorado. If you're on the East, go join Dom down in Atlanta.
And if you're in the middle,
make a decision.
Rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. Coin toss.
Make a decision. Awesome, yo. So thanks very much, guys, for joining us here for another episode. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for brand new content each and every week. Join us every Monday for a brand new jam breakdown where we take a look at the top clips throughout the movement world, from breakdancing to parkour to tricking, calisthenics, and beyond. And then join us every Friday for brand new episodes of the JAMCast just like this, where we take a look at some of the influential members of the movement world and get their unique perspective on life. So without further ado, special shout out to Paul Whitecotton, as always, behind the Switcher app for running the cameras. Very special thank you to our guest this week, Mr. Dom Lewis, for sliding through.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Like, I was pumped to do this. Like, I've seen all the others, and I mean, I just love everything you do anyway. So I'm like, I want to be a part of this.
Hell yes.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool what you're doing. So I really appreciate you for having me out.
Hell yeah, man, and we'll bring you back for many more in the future, man. So with that being said, guys, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us on another JAMCast. Until next time, we will see you guys soon. Peace.